And every time I hear this song, I just assume an Adam Sandler movie trailer. For some reason, this seems like it would wrap up Grown Ups 3. When that movie ends or the trailer, it would play this song.
Oh my God! I didn't spill my beer! I fucking love it!
If you're a diehard Van Halen 2 fan that doesn't want to hear any criticism of this album, now is a good time to switch off this video. I'm going to do this video a little bit different, and I'm going to dive right into the ranking and give my final thoughts at the end. Coming in at number 10 is Somebody Get Me a Doctor, and this had to have been an inspiration for Merciful Fate or King Diamond, because God Almighty is David going insane with how often he's trying to go high pitch or going high pitch. And it's a bit much. The harmonies are fine, but that's it. I could say with every single Van Halen song that the harmonies are fine and the guitar is amazing. So I can almost wipe those off the plate for every Van Halen track ever. But outside of that, there was just something about David going on in this song that I could not get behind, and it would go kind of slow, and then he'd get his voice up to it. It was just of all the songs, for some reason, this one I can barely tolerate and get through. Number 9 is Out of Love Again, and this one was just spastic as hell to me. It was just hard to get a groove or a rhythm going. It just was bonkers all over the place. I can just say it's muddled to me when I listen to it. There was so much going on. And some people might like that aspect of it, but I could not get focused in this song at all. Number 8 is Bottoms Up, and off the title I thought I wouldn't care for this song much, but I did have a good time with it. I liked that soft guitar intro to it. It was very cool. Very fresh sounding. Again, chorus is always strong with that one. There's a very strong chorus, but nothing too special to add to this song. Nothing I'm looking for. It was just an alright song to me. And I would say number 7 falls into that same category as Light Up the Skies. All around decent song. There was nothing glaringly terrible. There was nothing superb or amazing that just blew my balls off. It was just another song on this album. And it could be that this followed one of my favorite albums of all time and one of the most influential and iconic albums of all time. But this album just had a lot of pieces of it that were very just kind of stale for me. They weren't good, they weren't bad, but they didn't get anything really out of me. And it was very hard to do this ranking because there were a lot in this area that could really go either way. I didn't really hate them. The only one I truly couldn't get into was Somebody Get Me a Doctor. Out of Love Again is alright, but this middle chunk, you could really put them in any place because there was no standout things that I look for. I don't think they're bad. If they were on the radio, I wouldn't skip it, but I wouldn't go looking for these songs. And that brings me to number 6, Spanish Fly, which is just instrumental, it's just guitar, and it's got a cool little feel to it. I like that Upon a Burning Body had a song called El Mariachi in the middle of this deathcore album that just breaks up the monotony, and I really started to get into that mariachi-esque sound and style, and I thought this was very cool. It was unique, it was different, it was a palate cleanser for this album, and I'd rather listen to that, as you can see, over 4 of the other songs that actually have vocals and drums and that. Again, those bottom few were nothing special, so this was something at least different for me. Number 5, DOA, has the catchiest chorus on the album. When they finally get to it, when they harmonize together, it gets stuck in my head. I'll be at work all day just wrenching on stuff, and I will have that part ringing in my head over and over. The rest of the song doesn't have much to offer for me. It kind of just builds and gets to that chorus, and I can get through the other stuff because I really do enjoy the chorus. Number 4 is You're No Good, the opening track to the album, and compared to Van Halen 1, this is a far cry from an opening song. It was a little different. Of all the songs on the album, this seemed like an odd choice to kick the album off. It wasn't high energy or high octane. It's a solid cover. Now these top 3 are where I really get the Van Halen feel, what I hoped the whole album would be. This top 3 just encompasses them well, and that's Woman in Love coming in at number 3. It's got a very cool, kind of dreamy intro with a lot of harmonics and different things in the song before it gets going. And this is the first song on this list where I feel like they are all in their element and doing what I want Van Halen to do. They're all on it. They're all flowing well. It's got a good verse build up, good harmonies in the chorus like always. I've mentioned it. I could beat that dead horse forever talking about Van Halen. Like I said, that intro was cool, but the whole song in general, for the rest, there's ones where I like the verse. There's ones I like the chorus. There's ones I like the guitars or just this one little part. But here, it's a good cohesion, a solid Van Halen track, and I think that could have been on Van Halen 1, whereas these other songs on this list do not hold that same weight, in my opinion, as the track list of their original album, whereas this song I think could easily be changed in with one or the other. And when I do these album reviews, by the way, if it's an album I'm not too comfortable with, I try to listen to them 3 to 4 times at different times during the week. So sometimes I'll listen to them in the morning, sometimes it'll be after work, during work, just so I'm in different moods and mindsets. I don't want to be in a bad mood and taint an album or things like that. So I give them all different types. But I truthfully thought that Dance the Night Away was going to be near the bottom, because I've never been the biggest fan of this song, because I had high hopes for the rest of this album. But it came in at number 2, and every time I hear this song, I just assume an Adam Sandler movie trailer. For some reason, this seems like it would wrap up Grown Ups 3. When that movie ends, or the trailer, it would play this song.
Oh my God! I didn't spill my beer! I fucking love it!
I must have heard it in one, I have no idea. But you get that upbeat, more fun style of Van Halen, and this song encapsulates that well. And it's a hit off this album for a reason. It's catchy, it's fun, it's a good time, you get the feeling, you get the vibes. But if you want to really get the vibes of Van Halen, I think number 1, Beautiful Girls, does that. You get a strong verse that builds up to this chorus, and even the chorus has a build up in it where they're doing Beautiful Girls and it's kind of dropping off every time they finish that line, whereas the last time they bring in the Beautiful Girls, they're going for it, they're singing it, it's hard, and it's just a good strong build up as the song continues, and they're meshing well together, and it's catchy. And I've always liked this song, and in my last review, if you watched it, you would have heard that I only know their hits past their first album, and this is one of the hits I know, and it's one of the ones that's way up there that, again, could have easily been on the first Van Halen album. But guys, that's my ranking. Let me know what you think. I decided to do my final thoughts at the end and just get into the list. I don't know Van Halen history, so don't beat me up in the comments. Maybe you can inform me and let me know. I know that they consistently drop an album like once a year for their first 4 or 5 albums. To me, when I listen to it, it feels like if you had the B-side tracks or stuff that's in the can that didn't make it on the original, they put into an album. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if these are things they had recorded and decided to make an album, or if they put one out and then immediately go into another and immediately go into another. I have no idea what their recording process is, but to me, it just feels like the extra tracks that would have went on that first one, or things that they didn't decide to use, they got put into an album. And originally, I figured that's what it was till I looked at their history, and they do release an album every year. I was thinking they were just trying to maybe capitalize on their heat of the first album, and so they cranked out a second one. I don't know. All in all, it's not a bad album. I could listen to it top to bottom and not be disappointed with it, but I will say I did have higher expectations for it, and it does make me a little hesitant to want to continue on with this review. I'm obviously going to, but it made my hopes of the rest of the albums not super high anymore, because I'm not sure where they honestly go from here. I have truthfully no idea. So guys, let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think about the audio. I'm recording this one a little differently. I'm in my car on my lunch break. If it sounds good here, I plan on doing that more. It gives me more time to do it. I am sweating to death in the Texas heat, but I don't have a lot of free time when I get home, so I'm hoping I can knock it out here. Let me know if the audio's good, if it's bad, if you get background noise, anything like that. But be on the lookout for the next Van Halen review as we keep trucking on. So guys, let me know down below what your ranking is. Did you love this album? Did you hate this album? Let me know. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks, guys. Peace.